Hey everyone, it's Mojaxx back in the DJcity UK Loud. Today I've got a quick review for you of the KRK Rokit RP8 G3 studio monitors. Now this is the latest version of KRK's entry-level 8-inch active studio monitors. And I've always been hesitant to review monitors here on the channel in the past because when it comes to monitors and sound, it is so subjective and there are so many things that can have an impact on your experience with a particular speaker. You know, the size and shape of the room that you put them into will have a huge impact. Where you position them within that room will have a huge impact. And the stuff within the room as well will also have a big impact on the sound. But here's the thing with the Rokit series, these RP8s, I'm not actually here to tell you that these are the best sounding studio monitors that you can buy. I'm not even going to tell you that they sound especially amazing. And yet I still really love these. Let me explain why. KRK's Rokit series of monitors is something of an enigma. They're found in home studios all over the world, and yet you'll be hard pushed to find many glowing recommendations for them on online producer forums. Yes, they're fairly low priced as monitors go, with a pair of these RP8s having a street price of around $500. But can that be the only reason people seem to have taken against them? It certainly can't be down to build quality. The MDF cabinets are really well made and super sturdy with a weight that reflects that. The RP8s are 26.5 pounds each. This also means there's very little resonance in the enclosure and there are thin foam pads on the base of each speaker to help isolate them from the surface they're placed on. The front baffle design has evolved a lot over the course of the 3 versions of the Rokit series, and the latest iteration looks really slick and along with the smoothed off edges all over the monitors is designed to improve imaging and reduce distortion. Down at the bottom of each monitor we find the base port. Having it on the front of the cabinet means the RP8s are a lot less fussy about placement compared to speakers with rear-firing ports, although how close the monitors are to a wall will always have some impact. Also in front is the highly recognisable KRK yellow and black woofer, naturally 8 inches in diameter on this model. It's constructed from an aramid glass composite, which offers decent performance, but doesn't have quite the stiffness of the Kevlar drivers found on KRK's own VXT series. That's accompanied by a 1-inch soft dome tweeter with a wide frequency response up to 35 kHz. Each driver is powered by a dedicated amp, pushing 25 watts to the tweeter and 75 watts to the woofer for a total peak output of 109 decibels, which should be more than enough for any normal home studio or DJ setup. Heading around the back of the RP8s we find an unbalanced RCA connector and balanced inputs on a 1/4-inch jack and an XLR socket, all bases covered there. There are also knobs to control the volume and to boost or decrease high and low frequencies. This is an update from the G2 versions, which only had adjustment for high frequencies and will allow you to go one step further in tweaking the sound to your own space and taste. Now, so far that all sounds pretty great, right? So why don't the Rokits get more love than they do? Well, as much as they aspire to offer that real nice flat sound for monitoring, there's no doubt that the Rokit series can be a little bit unrefined in the bass end of things in particular. It's more noticeable on these RP8s than the smaller models because the bigger woofer puts out more bass to begin with, but in my experience it's largely the same across the whole Rokit range. While the bass is warm and fat, it's just not as controlled as on some other, mostly smaller monitors in this kind of price range, and can make the speaker sound a little unbalanced. There's plenty of clarity to be found in the RP8s, and as with any monitor, if you take a while to learn its sound, there's no doubt you can produce great music with the Rokit series, and there's certainly a huge step up from cheap hi-fi or PC speakers, but I do understand why some producers might steer you elsewhere for music making. So there you go, my take on the KRK Rokit RP8 G3 studio monitors. You know, nobody is claiming that these are the pinnacle of studio monitor sound reproduction. KRK aren't claiming that. They've got 2 ranges of monitors above the Rokits. These are strictly the entry-level option, and I would certainly say if music production is your focus, then you should spend a little bit more money and buy some smaller but more transparent studio monitors that you can get up to, up to about $1,000. You can get a decent pair from KRK's own VXT series or from Genelec or Adam or brands like that. There's lots out there up to $1,000. But I'm a DJ first and foremost. I DJ, I do some edits, and I dabble in production. And for that kind of use, the RP8s are absolutely the business. They are really loud. If you need louder speakers than this in a near field, close monitoring situation, you need to go and see an audiologist because you have got a problem with your hearing. They are plenty loud. There's lots of bass here as well. Now with the smaller Rokit series, the RP5s, the RP6s in the past, there's been times when I've thought, yeah, I could probably do with a sub here. But with the RP8s, that's never once crossed my mind. There's plenty of bass. It is not the tightest bass you will ever hear. It's a bit woolly, but there's lots of it, you know. And again, for mixing on a typical 2017 digital DJ setup, the Rokits will do the job really nicely. And you've got the adjustment there, the extra adjustment, you know, high and low frequency adjustment. You can tweak them to your room a little bit, and they're not completely useless for studio monitoring. Don't get me wrong, like they are not the best thing out there. Even in the sub $1,000 price range, they're not the best thing out there, but they'll do the job. Certainly if you're just kind of getting into production and so on, they'll do the job. And with any studio monitor, the more you get to know it, the more you understand its limitations, the more you can work around those limitations. So, you know, I'm not discounting it as a studio monitor, but as always here, it's DJcity TV. I'm focused on DJing, and for me, DJ home use, $500. I don't think you can get a lot better than the RP8s. Thank you very much for watching today. Make sure you subscribe for all our future tips, tricks, and product reviews. I'll see you soon.